everyone. Welcome to episode 74 of the Codependent Knitters YouTube. And I'm here today with a special guest, my sister MaryAnn.
Hello. Nice to be back.
Yeah. MaryAnn's joined us again. Lisa's been very busy with a bunch of life things. And so MaryAnn's happy to fill in whenever we need some knitting input. And you have a lot.
I have a few sweaters.
Yeah. You have a few today. All right. Okay. I don't know if I have much sort of just administrative stuff. I've been to Knit City, Toronto, so I'll briefly touch on that. I had a Ginger Snap pop-up when they were in Sarnia. I'll briefly touch on that. You went to an event on Worldwide Knit in Public Day. Yeah. And we've got lots of knitting projects. So why don't you start and talk about Knit in Public Day?
Okay, so Knit in Public Day in Winnipeg was held with Wolesley Wool and Pearl and Hank. Mm-hmm. And they did it at Assiniboine Park, which is like the big park that is in Winnipeg. It's right across the street from Pearl and Hank. And they just had a little corner of it. And they had Long Way Homestead had a little bit of a tent there. And they showed up. I think we had about 75, 80 people from my estimation. And it was a nice day. It was windy and a little overcast, and then it got cool, and then the sun would come out and it would get warm again. So it was one of those days where, you know, the shawl went on, the sweater went on, everything came off, and then it kind of went back and forth. But it was a really nice day. They had hot dogs and drinks that you could purchase, and yeah, it was fun. Got to meet some new people, and then a few ladies from our Norwood Naughty Knitters came too. And so that is the start. It sounds like it's going to be an annual event. I think eventually they want to go for that Guinness World Record of, I think it has to be over 3,000, not sure the exact number, but this is a start. So, and then they invited people, they had it online, that if you're, walking past and you want to learn how to knit, you could just stop in and somebody would help you. So there was a young fellow, he looked to be about 16. He was riding past on his bicycle, and he stopped to see what all the commotion was about. And he sat down, and one of the ladies taught him how to knit. And yeah, he took full advantage of it. He was there for a long time knitting. So that's a cool thing to happen.
Yeah, that's awesome. The same day here was very cold and windy, and there was just another knitter, Carrie and I, down at the bridge that morning, and we were cold. We had to back up and move into some sunshine for a while.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Well, and you get the wind off of the water there, and then it really gets cold.
Yeah. What are you wearing?
Okay, so I am wearing the Magnolia Lite, and I forgot to write down everything about it. I know that I used Holst Tides, and I just cannot remember the name of the designer.
Oh, is that Camilla Vad?
Yes, it is. Thank you. Yes. Yeah, I did this, I think, last summer. It's really nice. It's short sleeved, and just a really nice summer weight sweater, and the baubles on it were not difficult. She's got a nice way of doing them. And just a few baubles.
Yeah, it's nice.
Really pretty design.
And then did you hold the tides one strand or two strands?
I did one strand.
One strand. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm wearing Yume by Isabel Kraemer, and the yarn is Rhichard Devrieze. The color is Eagerly Awaiting, and it's his Thede base. And I only did one repeat of there's another repeat of this really simple lacy pattern. I only did one. And I'm wearing it here. I haven't worn it out in real life because it's snug in the middle. Oh. But I don't mind the how it fits in the bust. It's just a little snug, the negative ease in the middle I don't like. But I love the top. So
yeah. It's a great color.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I love it. I did it short sleeve too. It's really pretty. It's just a really pretty, rosy color.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, really nice. I had another event that I went to. Can I talk about it?
Yes.
Okay. So Wolesley Wool hosted the 2024 Shawl Month Fashion Show. I didn't understand going into it that I could have submitted some shawls and then did the little runway thing with them. So next year I'll do that. But yeah, so this was just their little flyer.
Nice.
And then they had 25 shawls that people submitted and then showed off their shawls. So then they gave you all the details.
Oh, nice.
In their pamphlet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was great. So you had a little spot that you could, write down details about it or star it if you liked it. And yeah, they had some beautiful shawls. So
wow.
Yeah, I'll be doing that next year.
Oh,
not that I do a whole lot of shawls, but I have a few that, are quite nice that I would love to share. So I'll do that. And they're going to be having a sweater fashion show in the fall.
Oh.
I may need a wardrobe staff to take part in that one.
There a limit to how many one person can enter?
I don't think so.
Pick your favorites.
Yeah. But it's a really nice event. They had refreshments and dainties afterwards. So yeah, it was really fun. And it was a cold, cool, kind of rainy night. I think it was in April that they did that. And so it was the perfect night to, be cozied up in a yarn shop.
Oh, well, that's good. They did it in the store then.
Yeah.
Okay. I went to Knit City, Toronto. I think the last episode that Lisa and I put out was right like the week before. And so I'm sure if you watch other, especially from Ontario podcasters, you've probably heard about it. Anyone who hasn't heard about it, I'll briefly just say it was a very big show, like over 100 vendors. And it was great. There were just a few little things, like the room was really hot on the Saturday. That's out of the control of the organizers. So there were a few things like that, but it was a really good event. And I really enjoyed myself and saw a lot and picked up a few new things that I wanted to try. So I won't mention everything I bought. Like, I didn't go crazy, but I don't want this to be like a haul episode. But there were a few new things. So I picked up a few things that were new bases and some new vendors that for me. So I'll just touch on sort of a few of those new things. First is Ginger Snap had a new yak sock base. And the base is a brownish gray, so it's not a natural color. So it takes their colors a lot darker and they're beautiful. So it's a blue color that I bought. It's called Traveler. Nice. And that's pretty accurate. And so 70% superwash merino, 20 yak, and 10 nylon. So I'm going to knit a sock with some kind of texture design in it with that. And then on the whole yak thing, there were more, probably 5 or 6 vendors that had different bases with yak in it. So that was, it's sort of popular right now, I guess, or becoming popular. I bought a sweater quantity in this color.
Oh, pretty.
And the yarn is by Fibrani. They're out of Quebec. And the color is Selena. And the base is their Tibetan fingering, 65% superwash merino, 20% silk, and 15% yak.
Oh, nice.
So it is so nice and soft, but without the fuzziness of like an alpaca, right? Yeah. So that silk with the yak gives it a little something. And the colors were gorgeous, but I think I picked this up either later Saturday or on Sunday maybe. So sweater quantity wise and colors I liked, I landed on this color and I really like it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So that's going to be something special because it was a little bit more spendy. Yeah. A little more, not a lot, but a little more spendy per skein than like a normal hand-dyed fingering. So really, there are some hand-dyed like sock yarns that are over 30. And this company sold these for 38.
Okay. And is that a DK or is it fingering?
It's a fingering.
It is. Nice.
Yeah. 100 grams, 400 meters. Yeah. It's really nice. So that's going to be something special. A special sweater. with some, like, kind of like your Magnolia, like something, some texture on it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure which one I'll do, but yeah.
Good.
So those two were some new to me finds, I guess, that, yeah. I was excited about.
Good.
I can show a few other things later on, but that was the main stuff. And then I mentioned, so Ginger Snap was traveling around Ontario, and like they've stayed at my house before when they've been in Ontario. If they're going to be in the neighborhood, like I'm, they don't. It just depends what their plans are. So this year again, it was open invitation, and they knew they'd be coming, but we didn't know exactly when until about a week to 10 days before. So they came and stayed for a couple days, and we did a little pop-up. I just invited everyone who could come. Yeah. And first some people from London came and some local people. Good. And that was a lot of fun. And, ladies came and stayed and knit for a while. And when they were here again, I bought some of their, the tweeds. And so I'm not normally drawn to tweed yarns, but they had some sample socks, like in like a tartan or plaid type pattern. And so, yeah, I bought some of that. And I bought one of Kim's bags. That is really gorgeous. It's like a purse, like a tote bag. It can be crossbody. So I think it's like a waxed canvas. I don't have it in the room here, but like it's so well made. So yeah, I did, pick up a few more things when they were here. But one more thing. They offered this Joy colorway at Knit City. They were taking I know they're shipping pre-orders because they sold out at Knit City. So check their website because they may still be taking orders for this, and you can get it on DK or fingering. This is their Lush fingering that has nylon, and it's just, this is exact, like these colors are exact. Wow. It is so fun. Yeah.
Oh, the colors are great in that.
Yeah, amazing. So this was a lot of fun. So I grabbed that. And we had a lot of fun. We Lisa and I and Adrian went to the show together, and we kind of owed them some favors. So they needed a balloon arch made for their booth while they were setting up Friday night. And we said, we can do that. Because how hard can it be? It wasn't too bad. It wasn't too bad. So Adrian worked the balloon pump. They had luckily an electric one. And Lisa and I organized getting them on the arch. And I have a picture here that I'll pop in. It ended up looking really good. They did a big rainbow at the entrance to their booth. Yeah, and they made us T-shirts, and they called us their balloon artists. It was so much fun. They were so busy setting up their booth, and it took us probably an hour and a half to 2 hours. And not that we were rushing, but it saved them a lot of time. So we were really happy to help out with that. Yeah.
Well, and they go like completely across the country, right? So it's not like they can just pull in like, other family members or whatever. Like if for Calgary, Knit City this summer, like that's a totally different story. So that's really nice that you guys could help that out.
Yeah. Yeah. We were really happy to do it. And we had fun. The three of us just had our own little party going on. So
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. We talked about what we're wearing. We talked about different events. You probably have more finished projects than me, so why don't you share one?
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So I'm going to start with sweater that I did. I started it just, I guess, in February before we went to Cabo, and it is called the Cargill Sweater. It's by Rebecca Clow, Creabea Knits. I used Amano Awa, which is a cotton alpaca merino. And it's all over dip stitch. Yeah.
Really nice.
Yeah, really nice.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and it's a really nice orange color. When I ordered this yarn, this story, I didn't know I was going to make this sweater. So I just kind of ordered a sweater's quantity, and then I found this sweater. I thought, oh, okay, great, I'll make that one. Well, the dip stitches in there take up a lot of extra yarn. Mm-hmm. So I had purchased I can't remember, 4 skeins, I think. And I ended up needing 6. So I went back to to the Knitting Loft to reorder because I saw they had one more. I thought, okay, I'll get one more if I have to do 3/4 length sleeves. That'll be great.
Right.
Ordered it, got it shipped out, opened it up. It's a different color orange. It's a little bit darker. It's like, I didn't even think to check the lot number because why would there be 2 different colors of oranges? It's orange.
Yeah.
So then I went hunting and I found it. I think it's called Brian's Wool. They're in the UK and they had it and it was on sale there. So I got 2 more skeins and they got it shipped out and I was able to finish the sweater. So yeah, I didn't have a sweater planned to take that much yarn because the one I was going to do was just simple. Mm-hmm. But then when I saw this one, I thought, oh yeah, that's kind of a fun one. So that is the journey of the orange sweater. And it's really nice. That yarn is really soft and squishy. And yeah, it's just beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that, and it was a fun knit, very intuitive. It's got raglan increases. It is top down, raglan increases. And once you understand the pattern, you know how you are increasing in what part of the pattern that fits in. And so, yeah, once I got going, I didn't have to look back at all. So it was really fun. Yeah.
Hey, speaking of keeping track of increases and raglans, I think I mentioned these on our last episode, but you being in Winnipeg and people in Winnipeg, you can get these stitch markers from Pearl and Hank that have little engravings on them. So you can have your make one left, make one right, and you can put them where you need to do that if you until you get the hang of it or forever. They're just really handy. And there's more than one of those. Like there's a slip knit, 2 slip knits. So I think they're great. I think some people, do you use you color code your markers?
Yeah, I color code. So my stitch markers have little tiny beads on them. So typically I use green little beads for the front and blue for the back. So then that way I know kind of which part I'm doing, and it helps me just kind of keep track. So that's my little method. Yeah.
Because what happens when you don't have stitch markers, or didn't you have a little story about your front and back or is that the sweater
that got wonky?
That got wonky?
That sweater's coming up later.
Okay, we'll tell that story.
That's the work in progress.
I don't know if stitch markers would have made a difference in that case, but
not for that. Yeah, okay. No.
I finished a pair of socks, little ankle socks, so they didn't take much time, but they're
so pretty.
I'll just zoom in so you can see all the little colors in there. And so it's just a basic sock. I did I don't know if it's the Ira Partridge heel. Where you just each knit row on the heel flap, you alternate. You're not always slipping the same stitch. You flip back and forth. So if you look at it the right way, it looks like little diamonds almost. And the yarn is by the amazing Rhichard Devrieze. And it's called it's called Rain Dancing. And I had got it. He had dyed this for a special event with the Thoughtful Artisan. They did like a 1-day meetup, and lunch was provided, etc. And there was a shawl pattern provided. And I knew I didn't really want to make a shawl with these colors that I had sat on this yarn for a while. So finally I thought, okay, it's time to do something. And it's just so fun. It's super cute little ankle socks. And then I had this purple is a mini skein. I don't know where it was. It was caked up from a long time ago. So I just you can see, I put a few stripes in.
That's really cute.
Yeah. I just did 1 row, 2 rows, 2 rows, 1 row. Just something different, right?
Yeah.
Use up my mini skein a bit. So yeah, so that's, I just finished those a couple days ago. Okay. And these, I've told MaryAnn this story. I was soaking them 2 days ago just so that I could, have them lay flatter, like even out all the unevens. And normally I soak my socks in a bowl in the laundry room sink, and I had some other stuff in there. So I put the bowl on the kitchen counter and just had these in just plain water just to soak them and soften them up. And it didn't take long before Shiloh, and if you followed me, Mr. Shiloh down there is full of mischief, and we've tried everything. He will not stay off the kitchen counters. So he likes to fish things out of water, and I saw him heard him thump down from the counter and saw him go running through the kitchen with a soaking wet sock. So I got up and was going to go get the sock. Well, then he had run into the living room where I was, and then he ran back. So there's just water everywhere. I got the sock away from him, but I'm curious what he would have done with it. So if he ever does it again with something that's not damaging everything, I might just wait and see what he does. Like why? I don't know. Yeah. So he's a strange one, but luckily I was home. I was there and saw it, and he didn't like rip it up, or I don't know what he would have done. No idea. Crazy cat. So those socks survived Shiloh.
Poor Shiloh.
Yeah. How about you tell us about another project?
Okay, so I have the Simon blouse. Now, originally this is a short sleeve top, but I wanted long sleeves because I really like the pattern. It's by Clarissa Shilong, and I did it with Malabrigo Silk Paca and Drops Kid Silk. I ordered that through Wool Warehouse, and it's a beautiful green.
Really nice.
Yeah. So let me find, there we go. So the sleeves are just straight stockinette, and the body front and back are a 3x1 rib.
I really like that. I like how it blocked out, and it's not like, it's just.
Yeah, it's not tight at all.
No. It's not flat like it. Yeah. Beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah. And the sleeves are just a bit of a balloon sleeve. Sorry, it's kind of hard to see. Bit of a balloon sleeve, just a rapid decrease, because I like that look. And yeah, it's really light. It hardly weighs anything. And yeah, it's so that's really the only modification I did on it. Instead of the short sleeves, I just extended it, did the long sleeves. And yeah, it's a really pretty sweater. It's a great color.
Yeah, it is.
So I did that one. I started that one when those were the two sweaters that I took to Cabo.
Okay.
So just because, it's cool there in the evening and mornings. So if we're out on the balcony knitting, to work on alpaca or, mohair or whatever, like it's not hard at all to deal with because it's so nice and cool. So
yeah.
So it's a really pretty, I like the sweater. Really like it.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Thank you.
I don't have anything else finished.
Okay.
But I'll interject with two half finishes, and then you can talk about a few. This sock, I finished one sock. This sock has been on my needles for quite a while. It is the Annie sock, and it was from the 52 Weeks of Socks Volume 2. And the designer is Emma Ducher. So it's just stranded like 2, 2, 2, 2, and then every so many rows you switch. So it's not mosaic, it is stranded. And I did a afterthought heel, but I planned like where to put it, and it worked out perfectly because I didn't know how long exactly the toe was going to be. So the toe decreases. Here, I'll just slide it off here. I don't have another one to show you because there's only one. The toe decreases. I decided to continue the pattern, and it had to change up partway through the toe. So I did kind of try and work and kind of see here the decreases into the pattern. So it worked out pretty good, I think. Yeah. And I didn't do, how did that work? It looks weird from the side, but who's going to look at my toes?
Right.
But, I tried to maintain it so that the color that the stripe was going to fall on was the color on top of the decrease. So it worked out. And also, if I'd have just done one strand in the toe, like the heel, the toe would have been a lot thinner fabric. And the heel, I only did one strand in the natural. I could have done it 2 strands or stranded it just so it was thicker, but I thought, it's just a heel. I can replace it if I get a hole. I've never gotten a hole. So yeah, it's really fun.
I like the white heel and the white cuff.
Yeah. Now the yarn. So the white is just an undyed fingering. I don't know who I got it from. Could be from Timber Yarns because they sell it as naturally, I think is the name of the color. But I have some I've gotten from other places as well. So they just go into my stash for whenever I need, it for socks. But the color is yarn I got from Mary Maxim when we went to Woolstock last year.
Oh yeah.
And there are two cakes already separated into cakes for you, and they are gradients, and they're a perfectly paired duo. So here's the label. And they look like this. So I started from the outside, and I didn't get that far because I was only using half the amount of yarn. So you can see, you know, I got through the pink and into the sort of goldy rust color. So I might do, I've got lots left, but the rest of the sock, I might do a short sock and do toe up from the dark. Yeah. So I get all of these, where is it easy to see? Here it is, all of these colors.
Nice.
In the sock. Yeah. They're really pretty. So
yeah, would be nice.
They have other colorways in this. Mary Maxim, you can order from them online if you don't live in this neck of the woods. Yeah, but they're a lot of fun. So I have to finish the second sock. I've cast on the ribbing, and I think I'm done the ribbing, so I'm ready to start the colors. And then I'll just quickly show, because I have one more sock, and there's not much to say about it because I cranked a tube. So it was, but this is a discontinued yarn, unfortunately. I put it in my stash on Ravelry in 2017. So I bought it before then. And it is Rowan Fine Art. So they don't make it anymore, but it's a beautiful yarn that has 45% wool, 20% goat mohair, 10% silk, and 25% synthetic fiber. So I cranked the tube just so I'd have some socks to finish quickly, and look how beautifully this stripe's cranked up.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't know what you're going to get when you crank, and it changes depending on how many stitches. I used my 60 stitch cylinder on a fairly tight tension. So it looks narrow, but on my foot, I like a snug sock, but it's not tight, but it's just perfect. Yeah. So I did an afterthought heel and hand finished the toe and the ribbing. Yeah. And I used Sheena's, it's a stretchy bind off. I think it's a no flare stretchy bind off, which I should be able to link below to it. Yeah. I've used it before, so it doesn't flare out crazy. And
I've never done a toe up sock, so I'll have to maybe one day do that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't love it depends on the sock. I shouldn't say I don't love it. The heel flap and gusset just needs some planning as to where to start, because you're going the opposite direction, so you need to know where to start. Right. So you finish the heel so it fits your foot, but there's a lot of advice out there for it. Some patterns include that, so yeah. Or you can do other things like an afterthought heel. Mm-hmm. Or you can do the magic heel, like just the ribbed.
Oh, right.
Right, if you don't want to worry about that. Yeah. So yeah, this wasn't really toe up, but the cuff had to be done toe up. So yeah, so those are my other two socks. Just finished. Yeah.
Very nice.
Show us another.
All right. Well, I have a ranunculus that I started last summer, and I had got the yarn. Every January, the Norwood Naughty Knitters have a fiber frolic day. So then they just invite local bag makers and spinners. There's a weaver that comes in, and a couple of alpaca farms. So from Brandon, which is where I'm from, just outside of Brandon, there are two farms that get together and go to these shows. One is Burton Alpacas, and the other one is Circle O Alpacas. And so Burton Alpacas had this black, well, it's like a black brown. It's just got a bit of a brown undertone in it, and it's got a stellina in it. You won't be able to see it.
Yeah, kind of. You move it maybe a little.
Yeah. But it's a DK, and I did it cropped because that's all that I had yarn for, and very short sleeves. Mm-hmm. So it's like really great over blouses. I don't wear dresses, so it's a cute one with like a little blouse that, you know, sticks out underneath, whether a white or black blouse or whatever. And I had contacted them to see if they were going to have more this year, but they're not. So next year they're going to be doing more. So okay, well, that won't help me out then. But anyway, so I got this sweater finally finished, I guess early January or so. Mm-hmm. I got it done. So that was like, what do I do with it? I'm not going to have enough. Oh, just make it cropped and short sleeves and you'll be fine. So.
Yeah. Okay. And I was thinking about the yarn. Did you say the pattern name?
Oh, the Ranunculus.
Right. You did say.
Yeah.
That's by Midori Hirose. If anyone hasn't heard of it yet.
Yeah.
So there's so many ways. A lot of people have knit multiple ones, but there's so many ways you can do it. You can do it cropped. You can do it looser. You can do it with less ease.
Yeah.
You can do short sleeve, long sleeve, lightweight, heavy. Like, it's very versatile, and it's just a really nice design.
Yeah. And it's one of those sweaters that you can do a winter weight with it. You could do it, you know, I have a friend who did it with Newton and mohair.
Oh,
you know,
wow.
so it's a really thick one. And then I've done it in like fingering weight that's very, very light and airy. So yeah, it's a great pattern to figure out whatever you want with it and choose whatever ease you want too.
Yes. Yeah, I love mine. Mine is in a DK, it's a winter weight. It's in a DK that has, it's a non-superwash merino from Gillen Yarns, but it is so soft and it has halo. Like, you would think there's mohair in it. It's just coziest. And I love it. It doesn't have a lot of extra ease. It fits me like a regular sweater. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, very nice.
Yeah.
Well, now that we're kind of on that, you know, it's got lots of versatility. I'm going to go straight into my Burmy Basic 18.
Yes.
So this one I just finished. And if you haven't seen by Beth McDonald Stone, the Burmy Basic line, it goes everywhere from a 14 gauge stitch all the way up to a 28. And it's such a cool sweater. She gives you basically a recipe of when to do the increases, how often to do the increases, and you just go at it. You do whatever you want. So I did the Burmy Basic 18. And I did my increases are with eyelets.
Nice.
And I did a little rolled hem with a twisted rib.
Mm-hmm.
And then I did the same thing on the cuff. And at the bottom of the sweater, as well. And then what I did under the arm and under the side of the body, if I can hold this up properly, I did the little eyelets as well. And it's all the way underneath the arm.
Down the inner.
Oh, sorry.
Leave.
Trying to get it straightened away.
Yeah.
So the eyelets are all the way underneath the arm. And just
Nice.
gives it a really nice detail all the way underneath. The yarn is the Kremke Reborn jeans, which basically has everything but the zipper. And it's a really soft yarn, DK weight, which is why I chose the 18. You have that too. I've got it at Wolesley Wool last summer. I just got mine this spring.
Mm-hmm.
And it was so funny because when we were in there, a lady had walked in and, you know, I bought the yarn. I said, you know, I'm not sure what I'm going to do. Maybe the Burmy Basic. And she goes, oh, by Beth McDonald Stone? And I said, yeah. She goes, well, my sister is very good friends with her. So it was really cool. And she ended up that she lives in London. So I gave her all of Dawn's, you know, oh, you get a hold of Dawn, you can go knit at the bridge and blah, blah, blah. So anyway, it's like, what are you doing in Winnipeg? But her son played for the Gold Eyes, which is our baseball team. Mm-hmm. And then later that weekend, he got traded to the Milwaukee team. So maybe I'll meet up with her in London sometime.
Yeah, you should.
But anyways, this sweater is so much fun. And it's a fast knit, and it's kind of like my summer golf kind of sweater. Just, you know, if it's a cool morning or you're golfing later on or whatever, you need something. But that yarn is really fun. It does pill a little bit, but I'm hoping that, you know, in time that stuff will get worn off. But you just shave it off and it'll be fine. So that Burmy Basic is a really fun sweater.
So did the pattern say to do eyelets, or you chose to do eyelets?
I chose to do eyelets. She just tells you when to do an increase.
And you do what you want.
You do what you want. So I have a sweater when we have widths that I'll show. I'm doing the same pattern, completely different increase, and it's really, really cool. So.
And for people who don't know yet, the number, so you did the 18, is the gauge, the 4-inch gauge.
The gauge.
And the pattern, you need to buy a different pattern for different gauges. So just so people know, you don't get like the whole, every single gauge. That's a lot of work for grading and sizing and
Yeah. So if you're somebody who doesn't want to do fingering weight sweaters, well, then you choose the range that maybe you like DK. So if you're a tighter DK, you use this range. If you're, a looser DK, use that range. So it's really customizable to what the individual knits.
That's really good, because if you have yarn that you've bought for a sweater and you can't really find a pattern, you don't know what pattern, here's the nice thing about this is, either go with the gauge on the yarn band or knit a swatch, and you can get that pattern for your gauge. You don't have to worry about a pattern that is the designer's gauge and trying to do math to make yours work. You can buy the appropriate pattern for this Burmy Basic.
Yeah. And Beth has said, like, there's people have done striped versions. They've done color work versions where they've introduced their own pattern. Because, after so many, rows, then you do another increase. So you could customize each of those sections into whatever you want, either by color or by choosing a pattern that you want to introduce. Like you have that little card booklet that has all those different types of patterns in it, so it's, you'd have to do a little bit of math and figure all that out, but what a great opportunity to create your own individual sweater.
Absolutely. Love it. All right. You know what, I don't have any more finishes. Do you have more finishes?
I have 3.
Okay, let's go through them.
Okay. So then this next one is actually I have 4. The next one is a kind of a self-drafted cardigan. So the green Simon blouse that I did before, I really liked the fit of it, and I liked the raglan, the neck, everything. So I thought, I'm going to make a cardigan out of this. So I did a cardigan.
Nice.
And I held 2 yarns together. I used the Tides, Holst Tides, and then I held it with Drops brushed alpaca. So the Tides is the darker flecks in there, and the brushed alpaca is the lighter green hue. And it is such a cozy cardigan. I just did decreases down, so it wasn't a balloon. I wanted it just nicely fitted, and I love this sweater.
That is really pretty how those 2 yarns came together.
Oh, yes. Yeah. And I did a cardigan for Stephanie, our oldest daughter, and I did the dark green, I think it's called Forest, but then I held it with a green brushed alpaca, like a darker green and brushed alpaca, and just totally different vibe. Like it, And but this has a really nice marled look to it. The buttons are really fun. Just like a nice silver. Where are we here? Nice silver button.
Yeah, pretty.
Yeah. So, just it self-drafted ish. Okay, and that one I just finished not too long ago.
Okay.
Okay, so then the last sweater I have is the Fika by Sori Nordland. And it looks like a tremendous amount of work, kind of was, but very intuitive again once you got going on it.
Oh, yes, I love this one.
So it is an all over cable, all the way down.
Wow. Just wow.
So it's got a nice, kind of a longer, not really funnel neck, but a longer rib neck on it. And for the sleeves, I just wanted to do a I-cord bind off. So I decreased a little bit on my very last round and did an I-cord bind off. The yarn is the Estelle Highland Alpaca. And it's got a lot of weight to it because, again, there's a lot of yarn there when you're doing all these cables. But it starts off top down. It's got small cables, and then they slowly increase. And then by the time you get to divide, I think it's like a 10 or 12 stitch repeat. So then your cables are 5 over 5, I believe.
Okay.
If I recall right. But yeah, it's It's a really nice sweater, like very cozy, very, very cozy.
Do you recall, is that yarn 100% alpaca or is it a wool alpaca blend?
No, it is 100% alpaca.
It is. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Really soft. They have beautiful colors in this yarn. Mm-hmm. There is a red there that one of my friends from Norwood is going to make something out of. It's like it's like a mock neck, and it's stunning. The red is a great red. It's a beautiful blue red. So yeah.
Nice.
So this is my gray one.
All right.
So those are pretty much all my sweaters.
Okay.
I do have 2 vests.
Okay.
So the exact same pattern. On each vest, it is the Weekend Slipover by Petite Knits. Mm-hmm. The first one I did was in the Amano Awa, the same as the orange yarn that I had, but in a navy. So this is quite an oversized sweater or slipover typically, but I wanted a more form-fitting. So I just went down a needle size and figured that should work. And it did. I think I went down a needle size and I went down a size what I would normally do. Okay. And so I just did a simple V-neck. Yeah. And
did you add the cables down the side?
I did.
Okay. I don't remember the pattern having that. So
yeah.
Nice. So
down the side, I did cable all the way down and all the way through into the rib as well.
Yeah.
Where are we here? There we go.
Really nice.
Yeah. So that's one that I did. The other one that I did, same pattern. I used the needles that were called for. And I did this was a gift yarn that I got from Daria of Cloud9 Fiberworks. She was cleaning out some stuff. So this one is more oversized. I'm trying to hold it up straight. There we go. So V-neck, it's a little deeper of a V-neck. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to pull the yarn really close.
Yeah.
It's got little balls all over it.
So it's not like a boucle. It's like it's got little built-in pom-poms.
Built-in balls. Yeah. Yep. It's a cotton yarn. It's discontinued. It was by a company that was called Filatura de Crosa.
Oh yeah.
It was an Italian company, but it's no longer.
The yarn? I thought the company.
I couldn't find them anyways.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And then let's straighten it down here. I did a high-low hem.
Oh yeah.
Where from the side, I just did short rows back and forth, but brought the short row all the way back to the seam, and I think it was two stitches short, so it really became like a very drastic, like shirt hem type of a thing.
Yeah, I like that.
And then I did on the bottom, because I didn't want it to roll, I did 4 rows of just 1 by 1 ribbing. Mm-hmm. And then around the neckline, I did an I-cord.
Oh, yeah.
And then I did an I-cord as well around the arm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's a really fun oversized slip over. Looks great with a white blouse.
Yeah.
And, but again, 2 patterns, or the same pattern, 2 completely different looks, just by choosing the yarn that you use and the size of needle.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
awesome.
Those are my finishes as of late. Since Christmas.
Since you talked about the Kremke, I'll pull up my whip. Can we talk about whips now? You're all done. So in the same yarn that MaryAnn's using, and I held it up while she was talking about it, it's like a light chambray blue color, the Kremke Reborn jeans. I am knitting the Bari, which is a tank top by Berroco Design Team. It's a free pattern. You can get it on their website. It's a tank top. I liked it because it has wide shoulders, so to cover my bra. And it's bottom up. So this is my first bottom up top. And I think I'm at the point, I measured once, but I'm going to measure again because I did about another inch or so. I think I'm at the point, like it's just a big skirt. I'm at the point where I can I think, do the sleeves, but I got to check. I don't want the sleeve holes too low.
No, yeah.
So I'm going to measure it against a few like tops and tank tops that I have and make sure that the length below the armpit hole is long enough. And it's a very simple pattern. It's just got some seed stitch rows every so often. And I think I changed the frequency of the rows because they were too close. So I just added a couple rows in between for my life. But other than that, I mean, I've just been knitting round and round and round. And so once I start the sleeve holes, the nice thing is I won't have any sleeves. I'll just have the shaping, right? And then it'll be probably like separate front and back. And then I'll do the, like probably a 3-needle bind off or graft or whatever. I haven't read that far ahead. So,
I'm sorry, is it a V-neck or is it a crew neck?
It's just a crew neck.
Round neck.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, it's pretty simple. This yarn, I'm really liking it. It's very reminiscent of the remix, the Berroco remix. And it has the same look. I think there's more cotton and less synthetic. Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. The remix is about 50 natural, 50 it's about roughly half and half recycled fibers, natural versus synthetic. And this one is a 70% cotton, 25 polyester, 5% other. So it does feel a little bit more cottony.
Yes.
You know, but very similar. And
yeah. And we were looking, there's like, I think about 4 different colors in that Kremke Reborn jeans. And it's all in the blues.
Yeah. The Reborn jeans are all, because they're made from recycled jeans.
Yeah. Now I was looking for a white because I thought there's white jeans and jean jackets out there, but maybe just not enough of them.
Yeah.
But yeah. Whereas the remix, of course, it comes in a wide variety of colors, and it's a little bit more.
It's lighter, like lighter weight.
It's lighter, yeah, and almost has a what's the word I'm looking for?
Like a tweedy.
Yeah, a little more of a tweedy, little nubs of different things.
I think because I think it has a bit of silk, bit of cotton. I know it's a variety of fiber, but I love that yarn too. So
yeah, and the remix they have a worsted as well. Yeah, just the straight remix.
They actually have I think a chunky. I think they have 3 weights.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And so Kremke does have other bases that are not from like the denim colors.
Right.
Yeah, we just happen to be using the Reborn jeans line. So
yeah.
Now I got to get working on that and get that finished. Could have used it this week with all the hot weather we had.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I do have one more work in progress I can mention. Oh, that we are in work in progress. Okay, you take a turn. You talk about one.
Okay. So this is a sweater that I started in the winter before Christmas, but I had to do some figuring out in it because it is a bottom up and I didn't want it to bottom up. So I reverted everything to do top down. It is the Holly Sweater by Hein Rimmon. I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong. But before I get into that, I have to show you. So I did this with Manchalope, right, which I got when I was out there at Woolstock. So I got 4 cakes of the white and then 1 cake of the orange. But when I show you this little device that Dawn, that we got at your place, it pulls the yarn beautifully with no tension on it at all. It's just straight swivel and you put it on, and that is the cat's meow.
That is a great device for that particular yarn because it can tear so easily.
Oh, yeah, it does come apart very easily.
Yeah.
Once you kind of figure it out, I found it really nice and easy to work with. Mm-hmm. So this is the Holly Sweater, as I said. It's been in my bag for a little bit just because I thought, summertime, I'm going to put this away for now. And
it's beautiful.
All right.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, turtleneck. And I do wear makeup. So I did the inside of the turtleneck in the orange just to save the white a little bit. And then it does peek through a little bit. But it is such a pretty pattern. Oh my gosh, look at that.
Yeah. gorgeous.
So I'm getting down to the point where I'm almost ready to do the ribbing at the bottom.
Yeah.
But this will just be a super, super toasty. And so this yarn, as I said, it's Manchalope, and it is from the Unwind Yarn House in Newmarket. They had a booth at Woolstock.
Yeah.
And
nice.
yeah, this is going to be fabulous.
I should say these little things we have, they're not commercially available. They're handmade by a friend's son or son-in-law, and he just makes them once in a while, and then she'll ask friends, oh, does anybody want one? You can get similar things from yarn stores. So she calls it a yarn buddy. I don't know what else they're called, but it's basically like almost like a lazy Susan for your yarn. So I don't know, but there's no metal, like it's got a wooden dowel, and it's been like waxed or whatever, treated, and it's beautiful. It's really,
and it glides very smoothly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So unfortunately I can't give you a link to purchase these, but I've seen other companies making something very similar that you can get from yarn stores. So I don't know where to try. Maybe try Little Red Mitten. The Knitting Loft might be one to try. Yeah. Hopefully you can, if you're interested in one, hope you find one, because they are fabulous. Yeah. Especially even for sticky yarn, if you have a sticky yarn that's in a cake that just doesn't come off nicely. Yeah. And then it keeps it from twisting. If you're just pulling from the cake straight up, it's twisted, right? So this unwinds it as you go, which is really nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, another project I've been working on occasionally is I'm making the Habitation Throw by Helen Stewart, and it's from a few years ago, and it's a small throw. Mine's going to be kind of like a very small throw to large shawl size. It's a corner to corner blanket. So here's my other corner. So I mean, if I stretch it out,
oh, so nice.
Like it's, I can reach the corners. And I'm just doing it striped with some very special yarn. You can just see, I'm just changing up the colors. I had bought the miniskein set of Sampler-Stripetember, which is dyed by Timber Yarns, and it's a collaboration with Evertote and Roxy Floss Co. and Maximum Cross Stitch for a Sampler September make along that they were doing last year. So you can buy this yarn from Evertote. It's on their website. Look for Sampler September. You can get the mini skein set, and there's also a 12 stripe. It's a self-striping fingering set. Self-striping sock set. There's a lot of S's. Sampler Stripetember self-striping sock set. That's all S's. Pretty good. So I'm kind of running out. I don't have enough of a couple colors probably to finish a full stripe, depending on where I am. I'm on the decreases already, but I've kind of robbed bits from the stripes because I had the self-striping yarn. But it just means that I have to weave in more ends. So I'm kind of I have to just figure out what stripes are going to go next in what order. But it's a lot of fun, and I love these colors. And if you're interested in this idea, they have already put up their collaboration. They've shown them for this year. So you can pre-order now. If you're not into cross stitch, those yarns that are dyed to match the flosses in the cross stitch. There are two different projects this year. The yarn is dyed by Timber Yarns again, and is only available from Evertote. So on the Evertote website, you can, there's all kinds of combinations. You can do the whole shebang if you want to do the cross stitch and get the kit and the matching tote bag from Evertote and the yarn, or you can, pick whatever you choose. So again, self-striping sock yarn, as well as the mini skein set.
That's amazing.
So, so I actually did pre-order one of the mini skein sets. I don't know what I'm going to do with it just yet. I don't know if I'll use all the colors in it. but there's definitely some colors in it that look really cool.
Yeah.
So that's not something you can, you know, get anywhere else. It's very special and unique.
Yeah.
And it's a collaboration between 4 wonderful businesses, women-owned businesses. So
yeah, yeah, that is really cool.
yeah. And your turn.
Okay, you and I tagged you, so you won too. We got the Riptide series of patterns. I think there were 6 of them, correct?
I think so.
From Jennifer Shields Toland, and I started the Riptide 135, and which is like, it's a shawl, but so if you can do 1 skein, 3 skeins, or 5 skeins. So I've got 2 skeins. I haven't decided if I'm going to get 1 more skein yet or not. So the yarn that I use is by Songbird Fibers. It's her Snow Bunting, and it's the owl, and there's the Riptide in all its glory.
Yeah.
And then the other side is just stockinette, and it's going forever. But look at the yarn.
Yeah, beautiful.
Like, it just, as it gets wider, the yarns change. I love the pooling in that part. Like, they look like they're mirroring each other.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's such a beautiful yarn that Vicky does. So this one is my at work, because I have about, if I eat fast, I have 25 minutes to knit. So right now I can get about 3 rows done back and forth right now. So I'm getting to the end of this second ball. Got a little bit left.
Oh, there's a bit left.
You know, so yeah, I'm just going to keep going and see how it ends up. But the Riptide pattern, like, super simple to follow and very intuitive now. Once you got it figured out, it's basically a 4-row repeat. You're off to the races. And so Jennifer, it was just great that we got to, I kind of chatted with her a little bit through, you know, Instagram, and yeah, we just had a fun time, you know, talking about the patterns and getting them all done. So yeah, this won't be the only Riptide in my repertoire. So this one, namely enough, I worked on it on the beach in Cabo. That's what I cast it on before I left, so I could just kind of get it going. So this was the Riptide for the beach. So this was the perfect, just, you know, hang out, and like, it wasn't sticky. The yarn was good, because I was afraid about that too. Like, would my hands get too tight and sticky? But there's very low humidity in Cabo, so it worked good to do projects at. So that came down to the beach or to the pool with me every day.
I started the fingerless mitts that came with that set of patterns we won, and I haven't worked on them for a bit, but I did start those. And there was a headband or it was a scarfie, right? That you could use. Yes. It was a little scarf, the shawl, mitts. And what else was in that? A cowl. Were the sweaters?
Fingerless mitts? The sweaters weren't part of that.
But the vest has come later. So there is now a vest, both a round neck and a V-neck. Yeah. That use that pattern in it. Yes. It's really nice.
Yeah. And when I go to work, I keep this in my Knit's Best Thing bag that Dawn had made for us, and my name is on it over here.
Yep.
That Dawn had made for us on our Hecla trip. So there were 4 of us that went to Hecla, and Dawn made us all bags. Hecla was a Make on the Lake retreat. You had talked about it with Lisa on your last podcast, and yeah, that was a really fun weekend. So that is my Riptide in my lake.
Your lake.
Hopefully themed. There's no riptides on the lakes here in Manitoba.
Yeah. My shop is still not open. I have not been sewing, so those were a special souvenir that I made for.
Yeah, they're special. Okay, I have 3 more whips.
Okay, I'm going to talk about one.
Okay.
Which is still a whip. And we've already extended, we're just going to leave it open, the Crochet Beyond May crochet along. So I have done work on it. Look at all the squares I've made.
Oh, nice.
This is for my Isla sweater. It's a granny square sweater. It actually uses 2 different granny squares. I've only been knitting the one, because now I can do it without having to look back at the pattern. So I did a whole bunch, and So there's my granny squares. Yeah, they're so cute. So I'm doing a bunch of those, and I'm using Knit Picks Cotton. Where we go? There, which is a cotton linen blend, 30% linen, DK weight. It's really nice. It's very soft. And yeah, I'm just plugging away at that. Yeah, you're doing one too?
Well, I am, but I'm changing my thought, because this is knitting for olive pure silk, 2 strands held together.
Okay.
And even though it's gorgeous, beautiful, I just don't want, it's not what I envisioned for that sweater. I want to do a white one. So I am still on the hunt for the right yarn. So these were just the 2 that I did. And yeah, I've got plans for this yarn.
Well, okay, granny squares. It's not that granny squares or crochet is suddenly cool. It always was for people who crochet.
Yes.
But I am finding and noticing more knitters, or primarily knitters, or even knitting, like yarn dyers who normally show knitting, whatever. I'm noticing more crochet coming up in other feeds, right? Yeah. So is that the way to express that? And there's the cutest little, if you've seen the Emotional Support Chicken, there's now an adorable little granny square chicken. So it's a granny square that's kind of folded and stuffed. And
cute.
It's actually really cute. But on the granny square theme, Sue of Legacy Fiber Arts was talking about this on one of her Instagram lives, this granny square flare book. And I got it off Amazon. I love it. So in the book, the granny squares are all one color, and there are 50 different granny squares. Wow. What's cool about this, so it has both written, I'll just show you here, both written and charted.
Oh, nice.
And what is even better, there's instructions if you need to extend it to make it bigger. So every square, I don't know if every square one, this one has to extend. Okay, maybe they don't all. But what also is cool, everyone comes with a couple of different color photos. Oh, nice. Like just to show you different ways. You can do it in gradient if you did it in 2 colors. So you don't have to just, you're not just kind of guessing what it's going to come out like. You get a good idea. Like, look at this. Oh gosh, I'm trying to do this without, trying to be protective of copyright issues, but here we go. 2 different ways. So just the plain or 2 different, which is really cool because it gives you some inspiration. Yeah. So I really like that they've shown you different ways it can look in different colors. And even the charts, some of the charts are done, like they show different colors in the chart to help you. I don't know if that's just where you change color or if it's to help keep track of the different stitches. I'm not sure because I've only recently started reading crochet charts. Like I'm doing it, I normally just never needed to. I didn't do anything that complicated where I needed a chart. But there's some really neat designs in here. So again, this was from Amazon. Crochet Granny Square Flare. Good. Great book. Yeah, really fun. If you just want something for, just Granny Square ideas. And I don't know, but can I assume they would all finish to the same size? Maybe not. I'm just checking to see if it says. Okay, yeah, they may. So I guess it's probably not guaranteed, and it depends on the yarn and the tension. But you could do a blanket where you did all different granny squares. It would be such an interesting look. Yeah. So, yeah, I just wanted to mention that little book. One of my friends, Milan at Norwood Naughty Knitters. So there was another lady who had done a little crocheted, like they were just small squares, like they probably ended up being no more than 3 by 3. Yeah. So, and just random scraps, everything. Each row or each round is a different color. Oh, wow. And then, so she made all these tiny little squares, and then she's putting them together now in a scarf, and it's like a dark purple that she's using to put them together with. It is absolutely stunning. Mm-hmm. It is just amazing how all those tiny little squares in just any random color is being put together and held together with this purple
crochet seam all the way through it. So I think she's got it, I'm not sure how long it's going to be, but it's about 6 squares across plus, you know, the little seam in between. So it's fairly substantial thickness. The other lady who had done it, where she got the idea from, hers was quite a bit wider.
Okay.
But again, just beautiful, just beautiful. So yeah.
I know I have a couple friends that are doing blankets with small granny squares. So they're just like, you can use up scraps. You can, like you said, use the same colors, but change them in where they are in the square, whatever. Yeah. Really neat.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay. So I have a gift knit that I'm doing. Our children's friend had a little baby boy, and I decided to make him a flax sweater. So this is, got the body done. So yeah, I used the Berroco Vintage, beautiful blue color. And then I got a contrast. It's just like a little marl yarn that I had in my stash. And isn't that just adorable? So I just got to do the sleeves.
Oh, that is adorable.
I started this on Saturday morning.
Wow.
And so it's like, yeah, very fast. So I'm going to have lots of yarn left over. I'll probably do a little hat for him too. But
yeah.
So that'll be heading out to BC sometime soon.
Nice. You're doing
I have 2 whips left.
You go. I'm all done.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm going to save the one for last. I'm going to go to this one. So getting back to the Burmy Basics. So I'm using Holst, got a big cone left, and it's the Bloom. I think you have this too, because we had made sweaters.
I didn't use that for my sweater, but I have a cone, a full cone of that.
Yes. Yeah. So I had left over. So I'm doing the Burmy Basics using the same stitch gauge, but it's going to be a very light and airy, gauzy sort of thing. So this time in the increases, so I frogged the sweater. I started doing the Stars and Starlit sweater, but I frogged it because this yarn wasn't the right yarn for it. But I loved what it was happening on these increases. So like these little pronged increases that she did. So I took that idea and put it into the Burmy Basics, and
wow,
you can see just that little bit of detail that's showing up. So for these increases, because your increase is 1 stitch, I knit 2 stitches together, didn't pull it off, did a yarn over, and then knit it again. So I turned 2 stitches into 3 stitches, which creates this little prong kind of effect on there. But
yeah, I love it.
Yeah. And I just did a little rolled neck. I just cast on the amount of stitches that she called for. And I did in the smaller needle. And I did 3 rows, so it gave it a little rolled hem.
I love
that. And I'm off to the races. The sleeves, it'll be short sleeves. I'll just probably cast on, just do a couple of inches maybe here. And then probably do a bit of I don't want to say a rapid decrease, but a decrease. And I'll do the same rolled hem cuff.
Okay.
For the sleeves and the bottom, I haven't decided yet. I'm just at the point right now where I'm going, what do I want this bottom to be like? So that's still in the planning.
What size needle are you using with that Tides?
For this one is 5 millimeters.
Wow. So when you try it on, how, like, would you just wear a natural colored bra under it? Would you?
I think because I've done the Salty Air Tea, and I think it was done with the 5, either 4.5 or 5 millimeter needle, and it's in white, and I just wear a beige bra underneath. It was fine. Yeah. So I imagine that I can do the same for this. If not, just a little white tank, spaghetti strap tank, and it'll be fine. But that increase is so pretty.
And that little bit of texture, but it also probably in those little spots adds a little bit of density to the fabric in those spots, which overall makes it a little less.
Make it a little bit,
messy. Yeah.
Yeah. But
that's gorgeous.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a really neat. So it was something that didn't work out, but yet lent to make this one that much better.
Beautiful.
So that's my active whip right now.
Well, I could, but I won't make the exact same sweater in the exact same color.
Well, you can.
I'm not going to.
But you
I
can.
love that. But I love that. Well, it gives me ideas for using tides with in a bigger gauge.
Yeah.
Right. So which normally probably I would want, it would be a smaller gauge and it would take me forever and ever and ever to knit.
Right.
So that's really pretty. And what a lightweight, airy, cool fabric for even summer.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I work in an office that has air conditioning. And like once the air conditioning pops on, like you're frozen. So just to have that little bit of a layer, you know, it makes a big, big difference. Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
All right. Here comes the what the heck did I do project. And it just kind of goes to show you that, you know, I'm not a master knitter, but I am a master of my knitting.
I love that. I love that.
This one came back to show me who's who.
That's the title of this episode.
There we go. The master of my knits. Yeah. Okay. So this is the Basket Weaver by Stephen West. Absolutely love it. Vicky from Songbird Fibers, she did one too. And I'm going to show you the best part. So basket weave, it starts off small. The baskets grow a little bit bigger and bigger. Really nice. I'm using 2 yarns held together again. It is one's an alpaca.
Okay.
Sorry, and I didn't write it down. The other one is just a silk mohair. Both from, this is a drops alpaca. And it's a fingering, and then the mohair. Got from Wool Warehouse. So this is a great sweater. I tried it on. I mean, how many times you try it on to make sure it fits? You split for the sleeves. You try it on to make sure everything's going good. You try it on for length. And then I went, what happened? How did this happen? So I picked up the oops. It'll show you exactly where things happened. So when I split for sleeves, I don't know what happened, but this happened.
You split in the wrong spot.
I split crooked.
Yeah.
How I didn't notice that every time I tried it on. But even the last time when I tried it on, I looked at it and go, that's weird. It fits fine. It doesn't change anything about the sweater. It doesn't pull wonky or anything like that. So we were talking on our Zoom with Vicky the other day, and she said, well, if it doesn't bug you, then just leave it. I think I'm just going to leave it.
Yeah. And
what I'm going to do, so on the side that has more space, of course, I'm going to take the green thread out and then you won't notice as much. I am just going to embroider some flowers over there.
That will look really nice.
Right? Because then it's a basket.
If people aren't clear on the oops, there were short rows that made the back drop.
Yeah.
And yours just kind of got rotated.
Somehow I put the sleeves.
Yeah.
I've got like cyborg sleeves. Yeah. One in front, one in back.
So that's a really good solution.
Yeah.
Because the alternate, you put the lifeline through because you thought you could always knit the neck up.
Right.
And re-knit.
Right. Yeah. Just cut it out and then re-knit going back up. Yeah. I've never done that before, and I would hate to ruin the whole sweater.
That's right.
And it feels fine when it's on. So like I said, I never noticed it. It doesn't feel like it was pulling weirdly or anything like that. Mm-hmm. So I think it'll just be my own design feature.
I love it.
So this has been in a little bit of time out, just because, again, it's getting warm outside and I wasn't wanting to knit with mohair and, you know, all of that. So, and that gave me a little bit of time to digest and figure out my plan for moving forward. So yeah. I will proudly admit my mistakes, and
we learned from them.
We learned from them. Yeah.
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 I mean, honestly, mistakes aren't bad. I have become really good at picking up stitches because I've dropped a million. I mean, right? Like the first few times it happens and you're not experienced and you kind of freak out and hopefully they don't all drop and whatever. But I mean, it's just, I have no problem. If anyone drops their stitches and needs help, I'm right there because I can do that.
Yeah. So yeah, you'll live and learn.
Awesome.
Yeah. So I do have a few acquisitions.
Okay.
I typically don't accumulate a lot of yarn before I'm ready to knit with something, but there were just a few events that had come up that, sales were good, so I got it.
Okay.
So when we were working on the crochet idea, I got this Knitting for Olive. And then I thought, maybe I should do a 3-color one. So the 3 colors that I was going to choose was the stone, putty, and then I purchased cognac, and this is it's a black, what do they call it? Coal.
So this was, you were going to do the Isla in different colored squares.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. But this is not what I was going for. So this may become a striped sweater.
Oh, nice.
Right? So, and I love those 3 colors together, just classic. Yeah. So that's on the, think about it for a little bit.
Yeah.
And I got that from Pearl and Hank. The original putty I got from, did I get it from the Knitting Loft?
Possibly, they carry it.
Yes, I think that's where I got it.
Yeah.
And then the black and the brown I got from Pearl and Hank, because they carry the whole line as well. They carry a lot of Knitting for Olive. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. So I picked that up, and then while I was also there, I picked up I'm just going to pull this out because I don't want it to get stuck. Durum Natura.
Oh yeah.
Ulysses. And just a really nice dark gray. So this sweater, my plan is to do the Cloud Sweater by Petite Knits until I saw the Trellis Sweater by Pia Trans. So this one is undecided.
Okay.
But it'll be one of those. And it's a really nice, it's 100% wool. Just straight 100% wool. That's all it is. Really nice gray color.
Yeah. And it's got a nice feel.
It does.
Like when you hear 100% wool, there's most of that I won't be able to wear, but that like in a garment, but that has a really nice feel.
Yeah. Very, very soft, like very, very soft. Yeah. I'm excited to do that one. And then also that I purchased from Pearl and Hank is some silk mohair in a nice navy.
That's nice.
But there is a lady that shows up a couple of times, 3-4 times a year at Norwood Naughty Knitters. And I'm not letting this secret out of the bag, but nobody can come and buy her yarn. She sells balls of yarn for $1 a cake. And it was her mother's yarn, and they were all on cones. So she winds them off and just sells them for $1 a ball. Wow. So I'm going to hold these 2 together. And I'm either going to do a love note or a ranunculus, but I keep going back to the love note. So I'm thinking it'll probably be a navy love note. So that's amazing. And she just comes with balls and balls and balls and balls, all different colors, beautiful natural colors and browns and blacks and reds and burgundies. And it's just amazing. So we're really fortunate that. So I think the next time she's coming is in fall again because she's away for the summer. But so then that's a plan for a sweater. Again, probably not till August or so. Yeah. And then one more acquisition that I got. Oh, I had gone to the Carberry, in the town of Carberry, the Blue Hills Fiber Festival. So it's just a small one-day festival. Some indie dyers, lots of alpaca people were there. There's a new wool mill in Austin, Manitoba called Austin Wool Mills, and it's our second wool mill in Manitoba. They also have their own line of yarns that they're starting to do. And so I got some, we went to Carberry. I did the tour there. I did the tour of the Austin mill and then went to Carberry for the day. And there was Daria from Cloud9 Fiberworks had her booth set up, and she has a stellina that I have been keeping my eye on, and she had 2 skeins there. This is going to be part of a sweater. It's going to be a raglan sweater, kind of like a Henley style.
Okay.
And I think you can see the stellina.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So she has, I'm going to get this in the natural as well, which is just the white with the stellina. And my plan is to do this Henley style, like half button top, I guess, crew neck. But the sleeves are going to be navy. Mm-hmm. The body will be white. And I may do, once I split for sleeves, I may do white and blue stripes on the lower half. So it'll really give a very nautical kind of a vibe to it. But yeah, this is such a beautiful color. Nice. And it's called Intergalactic. It's 75% superwash, 75% superwash merino, 20% nylon, and 5% stellina. Nice. So yeah, Daria has some really beautiful colors, but I saw this one about a year ago and I said, I'm coming for you. So that'll happen. Well, I have to get the white from her yet. So once I got a few of these other whips finished, then I think I might, that'll be my next cast on. Awesome. Yeah. Because you just showed that navy blue, one of my souvenirs from Knit City, Toronto was, I saw it on her Instagram feed, Yuriko Oki, this fade set, gradient set. So it goes from a light blue to a dark. And she had it with stellina or without, and I bought the without. I want this to be a sweater of some kind. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. It was just so beautiful. Yeah. So the colorway is Ocean Blue 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So. Oh, okay. That would make a nice striped Burmy Basic. It would. It would make a nice Burmy Basic. Yeah. I really, let me put this down for a second. I'm really intrigued by the Burmy Basic after you doing your 2. Yeah. And so a part of me is like, oh, maybe I should cast one of those on. But I have to finish my Bari, which is getting there. And I have not done anything else on my Dune Drifter. And that's a summer t-shirt, so I need to get that going. Yeah. And then the Yak, I was thinking, I really like the Wilfreda. And I thought that might be a really nice. I love that. I don't know the called for gauge, so maybe it won't work, but something like that. Yeah, I think that one's more DK. Yeah, and this is definitely, yeah. So that might not be the right pattern, but something similar for that yarn, I think. I think a yoke with texture and yeah. One more yarn I wanted to just show here because I hadn't heard of these guys. So the dyers are called the Frosted Stitch, and they're from Sudbury, I believe. Does it say on here? I think they're from Sudbury, and this colorway was called Harborfront, and it was done for Knit City, Toronto, and I love it. Oh, nice. Yeah, so they had tons of this, and they had a huge booth, and they have beautiful, like, semi-solid, solid tonal, beautiful, lots of colors. And so I had a very quick talk with them and just asked how long they've been around, how long they've been dying for, and I think he said since 2018. So definitely new to me. I mean, I've never even heard anyone else mention it. Yeah. And if you haven't, I really encourage you to check them out. They're Canadian, Ontario, the Frosted Stitch. So I thought I'd give them a little plug. And this is a really fun colorway. This will probably end up being socks because it's just so, it's really neat. Neat colors. Yeah. That's about it. That's about it. Good. Working. Yeah, that's awesome. I have not been sewing. I have not been weaving. I had a really busy spring with yard and garden stuff. Yeah. The plants. Yeah. That's wound down now. My son's going to be done
his last exam is tomorrow.
Yeah.
So he's gonna be done school. Yeah, crazy. Yeah. And then summer knitting. I don't know. It's like the summer's going so fast. I won't get another t-shirt done. So I really need to focus on the Dune Drifter and try and get that done so I can wear it before it's cold out if I can.
Yeah.
But yeah, your Burmy Basics are definitely tempting me.
Yeah.
So especially doing something in a looser gauge, which I tend not to do, but it does look good. Yeah. I have two sweater quantities in Cascade Roslyn, which was discontinued a few years ago, but is very similar to, I think it's a wool silk blend, but it looks and very similar to the Remix, but they're darker colors. So they would be a nice long sleeve. I have enough for long sleeves. I have 2 sweater quantities in that. I have, I believe, still a sweater quantity in the Remix. So, I mean, plus other yarns. So there's definitely a lot. Like those would be great just to use for a one color sweater, just a plain one. Yeah. And you said you really like the fit of it. You like the pattern.
Yeah. Okay. And again, you can choose your sizing for how much ease you want too.
Right.
So yeah. For these ones, I didn't want it to be too oversized, too boxy. So, you know, I found the right size and it works good.
Well, they look good, and I can't wait to see pictures of them finished with you wearing them.
I have one more acquisition.
Okay, sorry, yeah.
You're probably going, what? What are those crazy things? So these are 90-degree glasses. I can see over top of them, and if my knitting is on my lap, I just look down and I can see my knitting underneath me because they have little reflective pieces. They are hilarious. They work pretty good, you know, so you can watch TV and you can look down. Now, if you wear like readers or something, it wouldn't work as good. So some knits it works for me, some knits it doesn't. Really good if you're outside and you don't want to get like those tan lines and on your neck folds. You can yeah, I thought that was fun. Or you can lie in bed and just like watch TV.
Lying down.
Amazon. 90-degree angle glasses.
Well, those are interesting.
Yeah.
There you go. Amazon. Get your Granny Square Flare book and your 90-degree glasses.
That's right.
We have no, I'll just state here, we have no affiliation, no kickbacks, no accounts with Amazon. It's just, convenient place.
Just for the joy of buying.
All right. Hey, so thanks so much, MaryAnn.
It's fun. Thanks for having me.
We're going to do just a little pattern giveaway. I got my Remembrances Pottery mug here. And Natalie is a very good friend and an amazing pattern designer, especially for colorwork socks. So how about comment below and just tell us what you like to do to beat the heat, assuming you're somewhere where you get heat this time of year. And if not, tell us what you do when you do have a time of year where you get hot. So yeah, how do you beat the heat? As long as you use beat the heat, some form of that. Iced coffee.
Iced coffee.
Comment below with beat the heat, and we will send you any sock pattern of your choice from Remembrances Pottery.
Nice.
So yeah, so we'll do that. And otherwise, I'll be back. I'm not sure when. Hopefully with the Lisa sometime soon. My future plans in September. At the end of September, I have signed up for a crank retreat. So it's actually a weekend, a Friday to Sunday, with the taking Hillary over here. And Hillary Crank and I are going away for a weekend with a few other crankers. So that's some fun to look forward to. And you have a fiber show in September.
Yes. Yeah. The Manitoba Fiber Festival is coming up. I think September around the 7th, 8th.
Yeah.
So
I think it was,
but the first weekend after the long weekend.
Yeah. I think it was the 10th last year, but
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So anyone who's in Manitoba or Saskatchewan or
Saskatchewan,
Ontario, anyone who wants a trip to Winnipeg.
Or Minnesota or
Yeah.
North Dakota. Yeah.
Yeah, it is a fantastic show. I know there's a hotel on the highway right across the highway from it.
Yes.
If you don't like city driving, you don't have to go anywhere near inside Winnipeg. It's just outside the perimeter on the Trans-Canada Highway. And it is a fantastic show. I went last year and loved it. I just can't go this year. So
yeah.
And then you'll be coming to visit in October again for
Woolstock.
Woolstock. Yeah. So that'll be fun.
Yeah. Looking forward to that again.
Yeah. Okay. So thanks everyone. I did not do Show Your FO on the last episode, so definitely stick around, and there'll be quite a few because I skipped an episode. And if you would like to have your project displayed on our YouTube video, you just need to post it in the Show Your FO thread in our Ravelry group, and tell us, if you will, what the information about what we're looking at, and I'll slap that in here. So yeah, so thanks everyone. We'll see you again soon. Yeah, happy knitting. And yeah, thanks MaryAnn.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me. Take care everyone. Bye.